In this video, I will show you how to edit your photos to make them really pop. Like really pop. Photo editing process is a very personal thing. Everyone has their own tips and tricks, and maybe my take on editing photos will show you something you didn't know before. I will use PhotoWorks photo editor and show you how you can turn this into this. Framing and leveling. We'll start with adjusting the framing of the image. Let's open the Tools tab, crop and level the horizon. It's not crooked or anything, but we don't want it leaning to one side in our photos, right? Now that's what we need. We want to later use this photo on social networks, so we should crop it to one of the most popular aspect ratios, which is 4:5. Check the vertical aspect ratio and select the 4:5 aspect ratio preset. Slightly center the photo so that the main focus is in the middle of the image where there is a small canopy in the rise field. I will advise you to use this aspect ratio for your social media photos, even for landscapes. I know they look better when wide, but the phone's screen is better suited for more vertical images. When you crop photos vertically, more people can appreciate your work. No one wants to rotate their phones, that's for sure. Basic corrections. The next stage is doing some basic editing. At this stage, we'll be adjusting highlights, exposure, and white balance. In the enhancement tab, we'll raise the exposure a little by maybe 5 or 7 digits. Next, let's work on bright areas of the image. To bring back details in the sky, lower the highlights. In our case, we need to lower highlights quite a bit. We must also work with the white balance to make the sky deeper and more blue. I think the saturation can also be lowered. For my taste, the colors in the picture are way too saturated, but after that, I will slightly up the vividness to make colors more balanced. So far, we've got a photo with the exposure level we want, with the right white balance, which helped us to emphasize the blueness of the sky and generally slightly desaturated image. You don't have to desaturate your photos, that's just the artistic choice, okay? As a result, we now have an excellent base for further edits. Basic correction is a fairly simple process that can be done in almost any photo editor, but let's not dwell on that and move to working with shades, curves, and masks. I think that any photographer should definitely master these tools, which means you may need a suitable photo editing tool. I make all my edits using PhotoWorks, so I can confidently recommend it to you. You can download the program by clicking the link in the description, test it out for free with a trial period, and try to repeat after me. And after the trial period will end, click the second link, which will allow you to permanently unlock the full functionality at 60% off. HSL Sliders. The next step is to slightly tune the individual colors of the photo. I'm not a fan of making extreme changes, but I always do a little adjustment so that images suit my liking. To do that, we'll work in the same enhancement tab. Now instead of main, choose colors. First of all, want to change the greens and yellows. I think it will look great if we make them less pronounced, change their hue a little, and make yellow more greener and green yellower. And now we'll switch to the saturation tab and desaturate the green color. Also in the same saturation tab, let's make the sky even more blue by moving a slider. After that, we could apply a filter and call it a day, but only applying filters will not make you a master of photo editing. Teach you different tools and methods. With filters, you are surrendering your creative vision, always staying in the shadow of someone else. You need to learn how things work, how to change individual colors, etc. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't use pre-made presets. You can and should use them, but without ignoring the need to know how to edit everything by hand. Effects and curves. Now we'll use curves to precisely adjust the contrast. In the Tools tab, click on curves. Then create 2 additional points and make the line into an S-shaped curve. This way you will add back that contrast that was lost after desaturation we did earlier. Sometimes I also like to slightly raise the black point, thus adding a little haze to the photo. I think it will look good for this very sunny image we have here. You can also adjust contrast through sliders if you're not a fan of curves. Both ways are valid, so try them out and see which one works best for you. And now, masks. Overall, I love how the photo is colored now, but it still looks a bit flat. Luckily, you can add a bit of volume by creating masks. To do this, go to the Retouch tab. We'll start with the radial filter. It will allow us to darken the edges of the image, thus focusing people on the subject in the center. We'll make an oval mask around the object that we want to focus on, set the softness to 94 so that the edges of the mask would be very smooth, and start gradually lowering the exposure. Yeah, that's enough. Now let's work with the sky. Select the graduated filter and position it on the sky. Then start lowering the exposure, but be careful to not overdo it. You want clouds to look natural. Additionally, we will bump the contrast a bit. The final touch is to use an adjustment brush, which can be selected in the Retouch tab. Set the brush size to a small one, since we want to work on that canopy and bring back some details from the dark areas. Zoom in and start painting over it. The extreme accuracy is not needed, so make it quick. Now once again, add the exposure and the shadows. Nice, now it looks really good. By following these 5 steps, you can easily turn a boring, dull photo into something picturesque as this one. Try editing the images my way, add or remove steps, go crazy. Try to find your own way of editing photos in PhotoWorks. Practice and practice as much as you can, and you will soon master photo editing. Now is the best time to do it, so I won't waste any more of your time. Thank you for being with me today. Be sure to write your favorite photo editing tricks in the comments down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. I wish you a good day and even better photos. See you soon, and bye-bye.